Hello, Northern Colorado. I am Andy Hawbaker with Coldwell Banker Realty, and you're wondering what's going on in the Northern Colorado real estate market. Well, we're going to dive in. We're going to look at the latest data. Um, let's see. I'm actually filming this on August 1st, 2024. So the data we have, the most recent data, is for the month of July 2024. So we'll look at the actual sales data for Fort Collins, Loveland, Windsor, and Greeley. And we'll talk about what this means for both buyers and sellers. Let's dive in, take a look at this. Okay, so all price ranges, all attached, detached, everything's going to be in here. This is kind of just a big overview of everything that's going on. The blue line is Fort Collins, red is Loveland, yellow is Windsor, and gray is Greeley. This is the number of new listings. So we're looking at a 3-year timeline. So we have the normal seasonality of this. But the number of new listings is higher than it's been for quite a long time. In Fort Collins, there were 326 new listings in July, 157 in Loveland. So a lot of homes are coming onto the market. So that means the number of homes for sale are at a kind of an all-time high in the last 3 years. There are 547 homes for sale in Fort Collins, Colorado. Greeley is 226, Windsor 252, Loveland 296. So that's a 23% increase from a year ago in Fort Collins, 21.3% increase in Loveland. So more homes are coming on the market. Let's show this. The days on market is actually staying pretty steady. We've been pretty steady for a while, although higher than it was a year ago in Fort Collins, fairly significantly. But when you're looking at the number of days being so low, those percentage changes aren't as big of a deal as it may look. So the month's supply, this is really interesting. If you look at 2020, 2021, most of 2022, we had such low inventory, and we are getting to where the inventory is kind of at an all-time high as far as a 3 or 4 year look at this. So in Windsor, we're 44% above the month's supply than we were a year ago, 20% higher in Fort Collins, 35% higher in Loveland. So, but really this is about 2 to 3 months. So 2.9 months of supply. So that means if you take the number of homes that sold last month and divide it by the number of homes that are available, that's how many weeks it'll take or months it'll take to sell out all the inventory that we have available. So we have 3 months worth of inventory available, which is not, this looks significantly higher than ever before, but this is actually fairly normal. It's actually not a buyer's market until there's a 6-month supply. So we're only about halfway there. So anyways, there is choice out there. If you're a buyer, if you're a seller, you got to price your home right. You got to stage it. You got to do all the things. Okay, so let's look at the number of closed sales. So we were down a little bit month over month. 217 homes sold in July of 2024 in Fort Collins. Loveland was 111, 82 in Windsor, and 108 in Greeley. You can see that's just a very small increase or decrease from the previous month. But year over year, Fort Collins is up 4.3% on the number of closed sales, but Loveland was down 12.6%. So kind of all over the place, depending on what you're looking for here. This is kind of the thing that most people are interested in, and that's the sale price. So this is the average sale price for each one of these towns. Windsor actually jumped above Fort Collins for average sale price this month. Windsor's kind of strange in the way that there are a lot of luxury homes, more and more affordable homes, 500,000-ish homes are being built. So it's changing, but that's why Windsor kind of has some ups and downs, is I think all that new construction affecting the market. But anyways, Fort Collins is down 12%. That's crazy. $619,000 was the average. Most of the time I look at median. Let's check that out. So for Fort Collins, the median sales price was $553,000, which is down 10% from a year ago. That's kind of a significant drop. The July numbers for Fort Collins will definitely show you that home prices were down slightly of the median and the average. In Loveland, the median was actually up 3.6%. Windsor was for median was just down 1%, and Greeley is actually an increase of 7%. So again, things are kind of just depends where you are. There's a lot of unique things going on. It's not steady throughout, so it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. That's why you want to work with a good agent that's looking at these opportunities for you. Okay, so then, if you remember a few years ago, everyone was bidding like way above the asking price. And so everyone's always thinking, well, now that there's more homes on the market, there's more inventory, can I make lower bids? Well, this tells us that the median percentage of the asking price, so this is what a home sold for versus the asking price. In Fort Collins is 99.4%, Loveland was 100%. Windsor 99.3 and Greeley 100%. So basically, we're looking at everything's selling for about 100%, or the actual asking price. If you look at average, because I was talking the median a second ago, it's actually down to 98 pretty much across the board, 98.2 to 98.3. So on average, homes are selling about 2% below their asking price. So that'll help you formulate your offers. And then let's look at the showings to pending. So, I've got 3 live listings right now, and they're not getting as many showings as I wish they were. A couple of them are doing okay. A couple of them not nearly as many as I wish. But if you look at the number of showings to pending, so if you're a seller, you want to consider this, that it takes 9.5 in Fort Collins, 14 showings in Loveland, 7 in Windsor, and 9.2 in Greeley on average before the home goes under contract. So, and then the median is a little bit lower than that, 7%, 7 showings, 11 in Loveland. So that's how many showings you're getting before you're under contract. And then this is how many showings a home is getting. So for the month of July, the average listing got 4.8 showings in Fort Collins, 5.2 in Loveland, and 3.1 in Windsor. Greeley was 4.6. So the really interesting thing about that is, for example, let's use 4.8 showings in Fort Collins. So let's say 5 showings for the month. Well, it takes 7 showings to get an offer. So that's why these homes, on average, are staying on the market longer than a month. There just aren't enough people out there looking at homes to, have enough people to have made that offer. So if you're a buyer, the good news here for a buyer is really for the first time in 3 or 4 years, there's quite a bit of inventory available. So you can take your time a little bit. You can make your offers possibly below, like we saw, 2% below, 3% below, and kind of search for something that's the perfect fit for you. And you don't have to rush and offer on whatever happens to be available at the time. So this is good news for buyers. The downside with buyers has obviously been the interest rates are so high. We have some really good news, here at the very end of July. We're seeing that the inflation numbers are finally, inflation has cooled. The job market isn't as strong as it has been over the last couple of years. So the expectation is that interest rates are going to drop. Now, the Feds did not drop the rate at the very end of July, but the expectation, everything I'm following is still like a 90% chance that they're going to make a 0.25% drop in September. But the most important thing you want to know about that is that interest rates don't really follow that Fed fund rate. Mortgage interest rates follow more likely the 10-year Treasury yield. So if you watch the 10-year Treasury yield, it's usually 2%, 2.5% above. Lately, it's been higher than that, but above the 10-year Treasury yield. That's already going down, and that's expectation that the Fed funds rate is going to drop. So my point is, if you hear that rates are going to drop in September, they're already inching down, and that's really what we're going to see. We're going to see things inch down slowly. I still think that right now, like I said, we've got inventory available, and you can always refinance in the future. So I think this is still a great time to be buying homes, especially if you find something that's set on the market just a little bit longer and make an offer on it. I think there's some great opportunities there. Hit me up at my website, which is andyhallbaker.com. Call or text me at 970-203-5066, and we can talk about that if you're a home buyer. Now let's flip the page to home sellers. Honestly, it's still a pretty good time. Any realtor is going to tell you that, right? But it's still a pretty good time to sell your home, and here's why. There are people looking for homes, and this historically these rates aren't that high. People, they likely are going to be able to refinance, and we may see those rates come down, as I said, like between now and September. So that's all positive stuff. So if you have a reason you need to move, for work, school, whatever it happens to be, you will find that now's a really good time to do that. So let's see. The thing about being a home seller more than ever is your home has to be priced correctly. You price too high, it's going to sit on the market. You're going to end up doing price decreases, and that's not going to be good. You're going to end up getting less than if you had priced it right in the future or in the beginning. So anyways, focus on that. Let's sit down. Let's talk about that. Let's do a real strong analysis of what your home is actually worth, what that sales price is likely going to be. And you can get that figured out. And then the next thing is condition of your home, the staging and the cleanliness. All of that is so important right now. You don't have a second chance, right? There aren't so many people out there looking at homes that you can just put on the market and someone's going to go for it. You need your home to stand out as the best option. People are going to go out and look at a handful of homes, and you're going to find out that that's, you want your home to be the one that they've just fallen in love with. And with all that being said, focus on getting your home listed, priced right, clean, and perfect condition. So those are my main tips and information I think that's important for home buyers and home sellers. Again, I service Fort Collins, Loveland, Greeley, Windsor, and surrounding areas. And if you have any questions about what's going on in the market, what I think is going to happen with anything, I'm happy to discuss that. Like I said, you can always hit me up at my website, which is www.andyhallbaker.com. Or reach out to me, like I said, at my cell phone, call or text 970-203-5066. Thanks so much. Have a great day.